Hello aspirants, myself Kirtana Busa. I have appeared for interview in 2018. We at Narayana IAS Academy have come up with mains module to facilitate your answer writing. Important topics for the coming mains 2019 are picked, and all the important points required to cover the topic are provided in a simple and lucid manner. We are taking these points from multiple sources so that you will get sufficient points to use in the mains exam. We are also taking extreme care to provide good structure to the topic. Hope our efforts will benefit you. Having said this, let us move to an important topic today, that is alcoholism and drug abuse, which has become a great menace for the Indian society. In this video, we look into what are the risk factors and the impact that is having on the society, individual and at family level due to this drug abuse, and what are the government measures that are in place to curb this menace. We'll start off with a fact, that is, according to a study conducted by All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Delhi, 1/3 of Delhi's street kids use drugs and alcohol. So what are the risk factors associated with the issue? Negative peer influence is a major risk factor, and chaotic home environment, ineffective parenting, poor social and coping skills, poverty is another major reason, and perception of low risk of engaging in problem behavior. People think that engaging in this behavior is of low risk. So these are all the risk factors associated with the drug abuse. Among these factors, the important one is the peer influence, because most of the time the people spend with the peer group as well as the home environment. Lack of effective monitoring by the parents as well as the love and care that is to be expected from the family members is lacking. These are all the risk factors associated with drug abuse and alcoholism. I have also segregated into different factors so that the structure of the answer will be effective in your mains answer writing. So I have divided it into family factors, which again includes presence of drug user in the family, loneliness and separation from the family, family problems and disputes, disintegration of joint families. Previously, the elderly people in the family used to look after the children, but disintegration of joint families and emergence of nuclear families, and men and women both have become the bread earners of the family, leading to ineffective parenting. So these are all the family factors. Then what are the social factors? Having a hard job, unemployment and ease of access of drugs. The environmental factors include friendly gathering and socializing with the drug users. Personal factors, wealth, illness, curiosity. This is the most important factor among the teenagers, curiosity. And other factors include the process of industrialization, urbanization and migration have led to loosening of traditional methods of social control, rendering an individual vulnerable to stresses and strains of modern life. Then we look into what are the current trends. Mizoram, Punjab, Manipur are among the states where people are most vulnerable to drug abuse. One of the important reasons for the excessive prevalence of this menace, especially in Punjab, is its proximity to porous international borders and international drug trafficking zones such as Golden Triangle and Golden Crescent. Golden Triangle, which includes Myanmar, Thailand and Laos, and Golden Crescent, which includes Iran, Afghanistan and Pakistan. And the second trend is adolescent drug abuse is one of the major concern. It is estimated that by the time most boys reach 9th grade, at least 50% of them have tried at least one of the substance of abuse nature. And one more emerging trend is increase in the women participants in this menace. Now we look into what is the impact of this drug abuse or alcoholism. First and the important impact is it has led to increase in the crime rate because drugs remove inhibition and they impair the judgment. That is, it triggers one to commit the offenses. Incidents of eve teasing, group clashes, assault, impulsive murders, all this increase with the drug abuse. So we can say that this creates social unrest in the society. Not only that, it affects the financial stability of the individual, the family, and we can say that because of loss of productive labor, it also affects the economy of the country. Addiction increases conflicts and untold emotional pain for every member of the family. As we have discussed, loss of productive age group, as 18 to 35 age group are the most addictive ones. The loss in terms of human potential is incalculable. So the human potential is a loss not only for the individual, to the family, to the society and the country as a whole. The damage to the physical, psychological, moral, intellectual growth of youth is very high. Women in India face greater problems from drug abuse because if a drug abuser is in the family, the consequences are domestic violence and infection with HIV. If you look at the nation level, drug abuse is intrinsically linked with racketeering, conspiracy, corruption, illegal money transfer, terrorism and violence. That is threatening the very stability of the government. So with respect to the impact of drug abuse and alcoholism, divide it into four sections, that is impact on the individual, to the family, to the society and to the country as a whole, and add the relevant points to give good structure to your answer. So we look into what are the measures in place. The Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985 were enacted with stringent provisions to curb this menace. So we have this act in place, and India has bilateral agreements on drug trafficking, and we have signed a treaty with United States, that is a mutual legal assistance treaty, and India is also signatory to following treaties and conventions, that is UN Convention on Narcotic Drugs, UN Convention on Psychotropic Substances, UN Convention against illicit traffic in narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances, as well as Transnational Crime Convention 2000. Then what is the way forward? The first step that is to be taken is the source of the menace should be arrested or checked with iron will. This will arrest the problem at the root level. And then the porous border should be heavily guarded and stricter penalties of those involved in the crime should be done. So it acts as a deterrent factor. In time, stricter penalties are very essential to curb any kind of illegal activity. And awareness in schools, colleges, this provides an ample scope to tackle the issue because majority of the drug abusers are in the 15 to 35-year age group. So if we bring the awareness in schools and colleges, it will provide us an ample scope to tackle the issue. Rehabilitation, de-addiction centers should be adequate, and there is a need to mainstream the victims of drug abuse. We should also work on destigmatizing those who are involved in the drug abuse, and there is a need to mainstream them back into the society. So the efforts are needed at every level, that is individual, the family, the society should accept after rehabilitating. Otherwise, there is a chance of going back to the same path, as well as the country with enacting good laws to curb this menace and stricter penalties. Hope this video is helpful. Thank you and all the best.